Mic is on, everything's on. Okay. Hello and welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to do a 3D carving on this 6040 CNC router. The material we're going to use is actually very special. It's quite rare. This is Yuyong pine. It's only grown in one part of the world, and that just happens to be Tasmania, southern Tasmania, and that's where we are from. And this particular piece is about 500 years old. See how closely packed the growth rings are? And it's pine. So this is very, very special material. So what we're going to do, if you can see in the background on the big screen there, it's a prancing horse, a little bit like a Ferrari emblem horse. So we're going to do a fairly deep 3D carving. Now, I've used ArtCAM Jewel Smith to process this 3D carving. This video is devoted really to setting the program into Mach 3, setting the material onto the machine, and finding the 00 or the G54, the start of the program. And I've made the start of the program in the center of the material. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, now we've got Mach 3 started up and it's connected into the machine's fired up. We're going to move the gantry down the table, and that's simply done just by using the arrow keys on the keyboard. And what I did then, you get slow jog if you just press the arrow key in whatever direction you want to go. But if you press the shift and then the arrow key, it goes 100% of jog speed. So we'll send it down there out the way. Now, what we're going to do now is align our material up nice and square on the table and clamp it down. When you're clamping your material down, it's important to have this material that you're clamping against the same height, or maybe a little bit higher than the material that you're actually clamping down. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is put this tapered ball mill cutter in. We're going to cut this with one single tool, one single cut. So we're going to, this is a collet chuck. So to change the tool, you just hold the shaft and pull that one out, this one in, just nice and firm. Okay, the start of our program's in the center of the material here, so I've marked it with a pen. So now we're going to bring the tool over and position it over the marked area here, and then we'll set the 00 in Mach 3. Okay, so now we can set the X and Y 0. So we just do that. Ooh. Better if I have the this incidentally, okay, that's the machine coordinate. In other words, that's where the router head lives in one corner of the machine, front left hand corner. And so this is now set in the 0, 0, so we just set the X, we just set the Y, so we've got 0, 0. So now we're going to set the Z height. On this particular CNC 6040, this is done automatically. This is a Z height tool setting device. You just place it underneath the tool. Now if I swing you up to Mark 3, let's see if I can do this quick enough. And you come to the auto tool 0, press that, and if I can turn you back quickly, so now you'll see that it is set to 29.2 millimeters above the material. Okay, so what that is actually doing, so that measurement of 29.2 is the height of the tool setter. There, the black plastic and aluminium tool setter, plus the height of the tool above the tool setting device. So now the CNC machine and the computer knows exactly how high it is above the material. I'm just going to raise the tool up here, and I'm going to show you a neat little trick that I've learned and developed actually. Now we're going to go into this material and machine out approximately 11 millimeters deep, which is just under ½ inch. And it's probably going to be a little, not a little bit too much, but you might get some burn-in going in that depth and doing it in one cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a small trench here for this tool to go down into, and the little trick is, if you pack the tool setter up, okay, so this is about 5 millimeter in thickness, so it's 5 millimeter further on up. So that means it's going to allow the tool to come in and start cutting and just do a couple of strokes back and forth to machine some material out, so it's not too much of a load on the tool and the material really, and you're not going to get any burning. So I'm going to reset the Z height now, and I'll show you what I mean. So now I have set the material and the 0, 0, and the machine is set up, albeit a further 5 millimeter above where it should be. I'm going to put the program into Mark 3, and it will become apparent to you why I've done that. So I'll quickly load that into Mark 3. So okay, we come up here to File, Load G-Code, and removable disk in E. There it is there. It's quite a big file. It'll take a few moments to load, and there it is. Now, good practice is to, even though I've loaded it and I've set the 0, 0, and here everything looks fine, but always before you start, press regen, and it sort of Mark 3 then just reconfigures everything, and you know that it's exactly right. So we'll start cutting. Okay, so there we are. We've started. We've taken out about 40% of the material there at the start. So now we're going to reset the 0 at the correct height. It's just a little practice I do, and it just saves your tool, saves you snapping your tool as well. So we'll just reset the Z height 0, and we'll start it off again. Okay. Another practice, and what I would recommend too, is if you notice here I have the feed rate set at 20%. So that's bringing the tool in very slowly and starting the cut. That's why it's moving fairly slowly. So what I'll do is I'll put the camera down to the tool now, and I'll take it up to 100%. Incidentally, I can take it to 300%. And this is straight off the machine. Look at the detail. No finishing. Straight off the machine. Straight off the machine. So all I've got to do now really to finish this is just to cut the edges off, and that will make a beautiful wall plaque for a child's bedroom or an adult. So I hope you've liked that little demonstration of a 6040 CNC router. Now, I just will bring your attention to a very serious matter. This is not an ordinary 6040 CNC router. This has been custom built. It has 20mm thick solid plate aluminium structure in the gantry supports here and across and underneath, and it has linear guide rails. Be very careful ordering your machine. What I would recommend is linear guide rails, 2.2 kilowatt spindle, NEMA 23 stepper motors, Mach 3 USB conductivity as a bare minimum, but make sure that the structure, the main structure, is made of 20mm or 3/4 of an inch solid aluminium. It's a minefield out there. It is my preference, and I would suggest to you, do not even contemplate purchasing a CNC router with extruded aluminium gantry or structure. They're not solid enough. You definitely will not get a reproduction like this. So I hope today's demonstration has been a help to you. Just a quick demonstration to show you Mach 3 and a CNC router and how to set it up for the cut. In the coming months we will delve deeper into the process of CNC machining, and indeed with the supporting programs such as Mach 3, ArtCAM, and also Fusion 360. So thank you for joining me today. Please press like and subscribe, that's very important. Thank you for popping in, and it's bye for now.